Hello and welcome to Diaspora Network, where we showcase Nigerians making their country proud around the world. I'm Tenyola Oyitayo. On the program today, we focus on Nigerian creatives in the architectural sector making waves across the world. Plus, we'll hear from Ohireme Nwazekin, an architecture student from Heriot-Watt University, Dubai, who recently emerged victorious in the prestigious Global Constantino Design Challenge. But before we dive into all that, let's take a quick look at the news of the week.
Nigerian-born Canadian Dr. Taiwo Afolabi was recently inducted into the Royal Society of Canada as a member of the RSC College. The Royal Society of Canada recognises remarkable contributions to the arts, humanities, sciences, as well as Canadian public life through senior and distinguished scholars and world experts. Professor Afolabi is an artist researcher and educator who works in performing arts and human ecology and has worked in over 15 countries across 4 continents. Dr. Afolabi's dedication has garnered numerous accreditations around the world, including the Canadian Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Scholarship, the European Union Centre for Excellence Grant, and the 2022 Jim Wright Fellowship. According to an Associate President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Regina, Dr. Afolabi's nomination is a testament to his impactful socially engaged theatre in Canada and around the world. The Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce inaugurated its 18th president, Mr. Ray Chinedum Ateli, onto the body. Mr. Ateli has over 30 years of experience in IT, advertising, marketing, communications, real estate, and many other sectors, and says he is passionate about Nigeria and its potential for greatness. The Chamber's president is elected every 2 years. In attendance at the event, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has described the body as a pillar of strength, fostering economic partnerships and creating opportunities for growth on both sides of the Atlantic. International British-Nigerian artist Yinka Shonibare has unveiled a new sculpture titled Hibiscus Rising in Air Park in Leeds. The sculpture was created in honour of David Oluwale, a Nigerian man who migrated to the UK and drowned in the River Aire in 1969 after systematic harassment by police. In collaboration with Leeds Council, with support from the Arts Council England and Henry Moore Foundation grants, the 10-metre-high hibiscus flower pays homage to Shonibare's own youth and his nostalgia while employing his classic batik art style. The artist says that creating this statue is a celebration of hope and life, and that he doesn't want the thing that happened to David to be his lasting legacy, adding that it will allow the public to move forward instead of backwards. Juliana Olayinka with the Diaspora Network News Wrap in London.
We've also been following the activities of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission as they continue to engage citizens living abroad through various programs. Let's take a look.
Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabri-Erewa, visits Nigerians in one of the shelters in Brampton, Canada. While sympathizing with their condition, she urges Nigerians traveling abroad to go legitimately with proper documentation to avoid unpleasant consequences. Back home at the Commission's office in Abuja, Mrs. Dabri-Erewa receives Nigerian-born British expert and data management leader Abel Abo. Mr. Abo is a board member of Data Lab Scotland, a leading innovation centre for data and artificial intelligence in Scotland, the UK. He is amongst 20 board members who oversee the centre's Governance, Innovation and Education Advisory Board for a period of 3 years.
Just like other sectors, Nigerians are shaking things up with their creative ideas and designs in the world of architecture. Let's take a closer look at some of them.
University of Lagos alumnus Ifeloju Olusoya was honored with the prestigious Martin Weaver Scholarship Award. The PhD student at the University of Kansas received the accolade during this year's Association for Preservation Technology International Conference in the US. The award recognizes Olusoya's exceptional research contributions with a focus on inclusivity in architecture and historic preservation. The Martin Weaver Student Scholarship is designed to support and advance the careers of young professionals in the early stages of their journey. It offers opportunities for these budding experts to conduct innovative research and explore foreign travel as part of their academic pursuits. Nigerian-born architect Stephen Ajadi captured the hearts of the academic world when he clinched the coveted Cambridge Society for Application of Research PhD, prized at the renowned University of Cambridge. From humble beginnings in Nigeria to the grand halls of one of the world's most prestigious universities, Ajadi's journey exemplifies the transformative power of education and the unwavering pursuit of excellence. Ajadi has earned several other awards and recognitions. He is also the founding president of the Cambridge Initiative for African Urbanism and the Penumbra Space NGO in Nigeria. Another trailblazer in the industry is Samuel Obo. He is the first Canadian of African descent to be elected as president of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada for intensifying public advocacy, inspiring diversity, promoting good design, and championing transformative initiatives for public good. Mr. Obo has received numerous recognitions. He is the recipient of the Nigerian and Canadian Business Network Award in 2018 and the 2016 Excellence Magazine Award for Leadership. He was named as one of the 150 extraordinary Canadians, visionaries who inspire the next generation Canadians, and also named as one of the top 50 most influential people in Alberta by Alberta Venture, amongst many others. These are some of the many Nigerians who are making their marks on a global scale in the field of architecture.
The significance of architecture extends beyond mere aesthetics. It serves as a cornerstone for economic development, societal progress, and cultural preservation. Thoughtfully designed structures contribute to functional and aesthetically pleasing sites, playing a crucial role in attracting tourism. Iconic buildings and culturally significant structures become landmarks that draw visitors. This influx of tourists not only boosts local businesses, but also provides a platform for cultural exchange. In addition to this, construction projects generate employment opportunities ranging from skilled labor to various professional roles. This job creation not only addresses unemployment concerns, but also stimulates local economies by putting money into the hands of workers and supporting related industries. Many Nigerian architects in diaspora, through their skill, are telling stories of space and form through the lens of African culture and experience. As Nigeria stands on the cusp of progress, strategic investment in architecture becomes paramount. It is an investment not just in physical structures, but in the future of the nation.
And now let's meet Ohireme Nwanzekin, an architecture student in the United Arab Emirates, who recently emerged winner in an international architecture competition, selected from several projects submitted by students across Europe, America, and Asia.
Hi everyone, my name is Ohireme Nwanzekin.
Ohireme Nwanzekin was born in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, into a family with passion and skill for the creative and construction industry. His father, Engineer Abraham Nwanzekin, hails from Sabongida Ora town in Owan West local government area in Edo State, and his mother, Mrs. Adenike Nwanzekin, is an architect from Okitipupa town in Ikale local government area in Ondo State. Ohireme, who is the first of 3 children, attended primary and secondary school in Lagos, and in 2021, he moved to the United Arab Emirates to further his studies at the Heriot Watt University, Dubai, where he is presently a 3rd-year student of architecture.
From an early age, I've always been in love with creativity and the creative process. Although I would say what really drew me in was that my mom, she is an architect. And so my childhood basically was from school. We would go to sites, we would spend a lot of hours on sites, then come back and then repeat that, repeat again over and over again. So from then on, I was starting to learn some different things of the craft, and then I just picked it up. And since architecture is such a course that is enveloping all the creative things coming into one course, I could go into whatever, so it allows for that also flexibility. Primary school for me, I was the quiet child in the class. Like I was the one that's always just to myself, be myself in one corner of the class. And so from that, I remember spending time doodling in my books and just exploring ideas, just randomly sketching and different things. So I was that everyone is doing stuff, but then I'm just there on my own, my business. And then secondary school was like, I mean, every other secondary school experience. I studied in New Hall International School, which is in Chevron, Lekki. Moving in the first year, year 7, I think my art teacher really saw my potential. So that was where I first got my sort of breakthrough into like this, okay, I actually have this potential, in which I entered for, at the time, it was the Heritage Bank Arts Competition, which was held statewide in Lagos State. And so the theme was to design a bank of the future. And so from then on, I put together a really nice like drawing. And then God willing, thank God, I placed first in Lagos State at that time. And that was really interesting because I was year 7 up against like SS2, SS3 students around Lagos. So that was like my first breakthrough. Like, okay, this guy has something, I guess. And then, so throughout the school, I was able to sort of find myself, I would say, because secondary school is that you're moving from a child and then progresses that between adults and childhood. So I would say it was a really interesting experience. From childhood, I was just exploring all these different ideas. At some point, I wanted to go into like maybe animation, sketching, and then at another point, I even started a YouTube channel around like gaming. And thank God I was able to get to like a bit of like 3,000 subscribers. And so I've been able to explore different things until I was like, okay, architecture allows you to do so many things. Like you can go into film, you can go into design, you can go into graphic design, model, anything creative. And anything creative for me is where I thrive the most, because once I get that idea and start rolling with it, that's where I find my most joy, I would say. So yeah, that was it wasn't really a stark, okay, I'm going to be, it's just gradually entered in. And thank God my mom too was also, she was like, okay, so you're gonna do this too. And at first she was like, are you sure? Because she knows the pressure that comes with the course, and it's not an easy course. But I thank God I've been able to sort of cope with it. And because I've had that exposure to it before, I would say I've been able to sort of transition easily into it. So
he attributes his success to being raised by parents who understand the importance of education and exposure.
It's been like very inspiring, because for her, she didn't have that background, so she started off. But from the different stories she's told me, is that her father really inspired her to do it, because her father was he was an educationist. He taught he was the headmaster of a secondary school. So from then on, he knew the importance of exposing your child to different things. So he sort of inspired her to do those great things, and now she's doing good, and then she's now seeing her child doing those great things. And so it's just like a full circle moment for her. And it's really been great. It's really been great. She's a very hardworking person. Even not just my mom. My mom and dad, they're working. They work together. They are dynamic. Because my mom is more of like, I would say, the okay, open and let's do this. But my dad is like the realist. He's like, okay, let's see how we can plan this out. So having those two as different people in the family is like, okay, I can go to my mom for something like that. And some things, because they are together. The things I tell my mom, she'll tell my dad, and then she'll be like, okay, let's sit down and talk about this thing together. So having that dynamic between those two has just been, I think I got the best of both worlds in terms of upbringing.
Ohireme's creativity and talent stood out from an early age. As a junior secondary school student, he won the statewide Heritage Bank Art Competition in Lagos for designing a visionary concept for the Bank of the Future. He's also a recipient of the Deputy Principal's Award for 2022 and 2023 in his university. This year, his project, A Young and the Magic Stone, won overall best in a themed attraction student showcase. His most recent accolade is the International Constantino Design Challenge, where he proposed a concept for the renovation of the National Library in Lagos, Nigeria, titled Enlightened Horizons, the 17th edition of the competition, which centered around nurturing the talents of the next generation creatives, had a total of 402 entries, 127 in the architecture category, and 265 in the design category from different countries in Europe, America, and Asia. Ohireme's passion, talent, and creativity has brought him this far and propels him to bring imaginative concepts to life. Coming up on the program, we find out more about Ohireme and his life as a student in the United Arab Emirates. Please stay with us.
We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian premium Big Bowl rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bowl rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
The Constantino Design Challenge is a yearly competition that is run by the Constantino Group. So they are a surfaces company based in Spain, and they have many years in the industry. But for them, it's like they're inspiring the next generation of designers. So this is why they have this competition. So they have an office in Dubai, in which their representative came to the university to be like, okay, we have this challenge that we're hosting, and we would like some students to participate in it. And so it was not you must do it as the university, so it's like just a exposure thing. And so from that then on, from the right moment that she was announcing the competition, my mind just went to, I have to bring this home somehow. Like, I can't just be designing so in Dubai and then I'm not doing something. Like, I just had to bring it home somehow. And so from then on, that was when she announced she gave us exposure to the competition. It was not until like we had been done with the studio course project that we now had the time to work on the competition. And so for me, I looked into like different infrastructure around Lagos State, which is where I grew up in. And so I was just randomly one day just looking through Google Maps, and then I came upon the National Library, which is along Yaba, along Haba Macaulay Way in Yaba. And then I just looked at it. I was like, the library itself is a very vital part of the community. And I thought, what if I could sort of shed light and bring forth breathe new life into this building through my design, maybe give that a sort of exposure to not only ourselves, like what we need to do in the country in terms of our own infrastructure, but like give exposure to our international audience that, we have potentials and we can do this thing. So even for that, I then looked into the library, and then the competition itself, their number one rule is that you must use their surfaces. That's the only rule, but you can choose any site. So I chose that site. And so what I did was I took the inspiration of nature. And so the inspiration of nature with trees to sort of give a new look to the building. So the building has this octagonal form, which is the rotunda hall within the library. And it has this octagonal form, which was a big challenge at first, because like, what am I going to do with this? But then because I looked to trees, having the tree as the form, I then extended the roof out with a cladding that gives shade to the people below. And then the body of the building would be clad in their deck-turned stone, which sort of mimics the tree bark. And then the flooring of around the rotunda hall would be mimicking the roots of a tree as it's flaring out. And so that was my entire inspiration for the project. And I would like to mention that the Rotunda Hall is just one of the several buildings within the compound, but it is the central space where visitors first come to when they first enter the library compound. And so breathing new life into that space was sort of a thing of pride for me. And so I then designed, submitted it, and a month later, they did the juries, and I was announced winner. It was a very surprising thing because, I mean, for me, I would say I have that faith God factor in which I always think there's a possibility in everything God always gives us. God always has plans for us in our lives. And so even with that faith factor, but when I now saw it, and so because it was an announcement post, because I don't really check social media much, but that day my friend was like, have you seen seeing what stuff I see? And then she answered the link, and I was like, whoa. My project was part of the winning projects which they were like holding up, and it was like, wow, see what God has done, and it was just so interesting. So from then, it was just like so much of a thing of pride, because like a Nigerian-based project that I designed is this internationally recognized, and it was selected amongst around 207 other projects around the world. Because you have all these cultures, you have these different people coming in with their different backgrounds and sharing their different experiences. You sort of am compelled to also share your own experience and share your own outlook on life, in which Nigerians ourselves, we know how we are, and so sharing that culture, having to stand out within the crowd, is something of great importance as a Nigerian in the UAE. So yeah, I mean, at first I would say the global feeling of Nigerians in international countries, we don't really feel that proud because of the reputation we do have, but because of the way Dubai is, and you have all these cultures coming together, it's like, okay, I can actually share what we can do, what we are made of. And the competition came with 1,000 euros, which was great, and it supports my education going back to feeding and everything, and as well as the connections, because winning that sort of gave me a lot of exposure, sort of networking within the industry too as well. And yeah, it's been pretty great. I would say the networking and exposure is the biggest thing, because you get all these different people from the industry having eyes on you, and which you can use that in the future to leverage. Another outlook for me, which I'm interested in, is themed entertainment, in which you create immersive experiences like sort of Disney World, theme parks around the world. And so I have that interest, and so I entered in for the themed attractions student showcase, which is a student showcase for international students around the world, regardless of where you are from, in which you design a themed experience, whatever themed experience you want to take guests on through. And so for me, I designed an experience around a Nigerian folktale, which is named Ayong and the Magic Stone. And so I designed an experience, a boat ride around that, and did a lot of sketches, did a lot of iterations, and submitted that for that project as well. And thankfully, I also won first place in that. And so all these different projects is just like a thing of, okay, even if you are Nigerian, like our own culture, I feel like it's something we lack a bit. We're not very proud of in this day and age. So bringing that to the forefront, showing that, okay, we actually have something we can sell, because other countries leverage on their own culture and use that as like a means of economic growth. And I feel like that's something we could also leverage on, because there is a lot of potential in that. Coming to Dubai, it was really like a push, like a sudden, okay, now you're in the real world. Yeah, find things on your own, do things on your own, sort out everything on your own. Because like, I vividly remember that point where I just landed at the airport and was like, okay, what's now? Where am I going to go? What's up to? But we thank God, it's been a great journey so far. I've been able to learn different things along the way. I've been able to meet new friends along the way, because Dubai is such a multicultural city. So you sort of get these different cultures, and it just makes you feel a different sense of pride, because other people are showing their own cultures, and it feels like you want to have that sense of pride and showing your own culture. So it's sort of a cultural mixing pot for everyone. we have a lot of potential back home. We have a lot of things we can do, even not just new buildings, like looking at back to the library, a lot of with adaptive reuse of what we already have, and even in going back to like the global standard of climate change and having that sustainability in mind, I would feel would be impactful in our escape. But though I wouldn't limit myself, I would say I'm open to anything wherever God takes me on this journey. But yeah, it's definitely come across my mind that maybe something I would do back home. I would say we have a very interesting outlook on life. We have a different outlook on life in which we have our own way of thinking, and so we have the go-getter spirit. We have that zeal in us. So my outlook on in creativity is like, whatever I can do, I do it. Like if I get an idea now, I take that opportunity. Like that Nigerian mentality of, if I don't do it now, it will go away and we'll come back. So that sort of mentality has been sort of like the backbone driving force of, you have to take the opportunity when you get it, or else you might not ever get it back.
And that's a wrap for this edition of Diaspora Network. Remember, you can watch more amazing and inspiring stories of Nigerians in the diaspora on our YouTube channel and website, channelstv.com. Till next time, I'm Tenyola Oyetayo. Bye for now.